I want to hope everybody's having a great day today. We got some great speakers and we got a really interesting topic. And the topic is, will AI decrease human job opportunity? And like I said, we got a bunch of people talking on the subject. And the first person is going to be Anissa. And she's talking about how we should just go ahead and get used to technology and get it over with now. And Anissa, oh, okay. We got to restart one more time.
It's okay.
All right. I'll edit that out. All right, everybody. I appreciate you guys joining us today. And we got a bunch of amazing speakers today. The first one is going to be Anissa.
Hi.
And then myself, who I'm Justin. And then we have Cassandra. And then lastly, we have Taylor. And our topic today is, will AI decrease human job opportunity or not? And so, like I said, we're going to kick it off with Anissa, and she's talking about how we should just go ahead and get used to technology and get it out of the way. Anissa, you're welcome to take it from here.
All right. So with the development of technology, more and more robots are being used in various fields, especially in some areas that are dangerous for humans. Many people hold the opinion that robots will replace humans in the future. On the other hand, many other people have a conflict with the robots that they cannot do basic humans, like they don't have the human skills to do what humans do, like the empathy, the service, and the caring part. So robots are good because they repeat their, all right.
That's fine. You're good.
Again, I'm ready.
All right. All right.
Yeah, that looks
honestly
way better.
That's better. Yeah.
I'm like, will that make my lighting look better? No. Did it make mine look better or worse?
I think it did.
It's better, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can see both y'all without the light.
I was going to move the bulb, but.
Yeah, that's good. We can see you.
We're doing it dark.
Now you look like you're just crying in your room. In the dark.
I can't do it my TV now, so I'm going to have to just have the head bulb. All right.
Okay.
Great day. We got a very interesting topic, and the topic is, will AI decrease human job opportunity or not? So we have four amazing speakers. I'm going to go ahead and introduce them all. So Anissa is our first speaker. Then we have Cassandra. And then last we have Taylor. And starting us off today is going to be Anissa, and she's talking about how we should just go ahead and get used to technology and get it out of the way now. So Anissa, please take it from here.
All right, so my first point is, with the development of technology, more and more robots are taking over in various fields, especially in some areas that are dangerous for humans. Many people hold the opinion that robots will replace humans in the future. On the other hand, other people have a conflicting view with robots that cannot do many jobs of humans, because today robots repeat the same task and no ability to think. I totally agree that robots cannot replace humans with basic skills of thinking, empathy, and service. Robots will be good in certain jobs, anything that puts humans in danger, warehouse, stocking, moving heavy equipment. In today's time, technology is taking over. When you go to McDonald's, you have the kiosk to order. When you go to the bank, you have the virtual bank tellers and the ATM machines. When you go to even the police have these robotic dogs, like as service dogs. Robots controlled by computers are replacing jobs that involve packing and moving goods. An example is the Amazon robots that move all products to people who package the mail and the products to customers. The professions that will be valuable in the future, and those that require analyst thinking or those that are in the tech field. Robots cannot reason or empathize, so professions like teaching, nursing, lawyers are safe. It will not stop there. There will be more advances, and as time moves on, we should just accept it before we get left behind and stuck. Personally, I believe robots will help in certain situations, but we still need humans. We cannot fully cut out the process. The only difference between the previous industry revolutions and today's robotic revolutions is the speed at which tasks will be taking place. The best thing we can do is adapt to the future of work and learn the new skills that will demand in the future. If you're not as techie as you like, don't worry about learning the codes. Everything will be with you. Like we learned ATMs, we learned McDonald's machines. It's just a learning process and you go with the flow and everything, just get on task. And next we'll have Justin talking about the robotic cars or intelligent cars.
Thank you, Nisa. And so, like she said, I'm talking about automation in the trucking industry to start off with. And there were a bunch of great examples, a bunch of great websites, and a lot of information I found. But I can sit down and I think I got some pretty good talking points. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this big shipping company called UPS. I'm sure we've all seen the brown trucks, the brown semi trucks, and the whole shebang, the package industry and all that. But UPS recently did a backdoor investment to a minority stakeholding into a little startup company called Too Simple. Now, at first, nobody talked about this, but now everybody's kind of onto it now. And UPS has announced that they plan to cut 30% shipping costs in the next 50 years through Too Simple. And I found this information according to InGet. And so basically, what this tells me is that even some jobs that you would think are relatively safe, right? Like, think about a couple of years ago, if someone said, hey, before you know it, these semi trucks are going to be driving down the road, no humans, no nothing. They're just going to be doing it all by themselves and backing up to the docks. And, before we know it, we won't even need humans. And back in the day, that sounded crazy. But as Elon Musk has showed us with automation and self-driving cars, it's not too far around the corner at all. And so that's why I think that everybody should be a little bit worried, informed, and just all around the automation and the future of our world, our society. Now, the next quote I found, and this was on the BBC News website, and it says that the BBC surveyed 352 scientists about automation, including some of the world's leading experts on machine learning. And so after interviewing all these people, quizzing them and getting all their information, they all came up with the fact that there is a 50% chance that machines can take over all human jobs in 120 years. Now, that sounds extremely scary, and it also sounds extremely made up. But I think we all know how this goes. It starts off as something small, and it doesn't just one day just flip a switch and boom, it starts like a light switch. It's more of a gradual slow. So like today we have, I hate to keep bringing Elon Musk up, but self-driving cars and automation. That started 5 years ago. Now we're starting to the point where now we're saying, oh, well, now we can do it with semi-trucks and save money. And so before you know it, I think more and more jobs, kind of like Anissa said with like restaurants and all that, where the farther and farther we go, the more and more it's going to happen until the end, basically. And on the same website, I found another quote said, 1.7 million American truckers could be replaced by self-driving trucks over the next. And just a little information about the trucking industry, if you guys don't know, it helps out everybody. It helps out schools. It helps out everybody because to be able to drive a semi-truck, you have to get a CDL license. And to get that, you have to pay money. People have to teach it and everything. So the more and more automation that comes out, less and less things like that are going to be happening. And this is another example I found on KarenDriver.com, and it talks about how a semi-truck out of Arizona, a 2,800-mile journey, shipping butter across the United States. It sounds crazy. It was a 3-day trip, and they did it like a normal trucking would. They had a driver and an engineer on board, but the scariest part was they didn't have to intervene once. The truck did all the driving. It drove the butter all the way from Arizona to its final destination, 3 days, 2,800 miles away. And to me, that is just scary. And if I had a CDL license or if I were a truck driver, I'd be worried, just like I think most people should, because automation is coming and is taking over. But that leads me directly into my next topic, which just kind of correlates with trucking and all that, because it talks about robots in factories. Now, we've all seen the robots where they're screwing in bolts, they're throwing car doors on cars, and they're making stuff, all kinds of stuff, all over the world, China, United States, everywhere you make something, these robots are here and they're doing the work. Now, at first, you might not think it's that big a deal, but if you remember many, many years ago, I'm sure all the old people tell you about how when they bought stuff, it was made good. It was made in the US, it was made right, because everything was made. It was all handmade. You bought a car, every bolt was put in it by a person, by a human. But nowadays it's automation. And this is another BBC News article I found that it talked about how 1.6 manufacturing jobs are taken every time a new industrial robot is introduced to a factory. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to remember these factories are open 24/7. So when it says 1.6, that means 1.6 per factory. And I think at the end of the day, that is just outrageous. And it's a lot more than you'd actually think, just looking at 1.6. And this next quote, my last quote, it was found on the Star Tribune. And it was these scientists, they did this whole research, kind of like my earlier point with the automated trucking. It says 60% of production work globally is in areas that can easily be automated. In China, almost 40% of jobs are machine replaceable. This quote brings up the point of how automation is worldwide and is more prevalent, even more now due to COVID-19. And we have some speakers talking about that later, but that was just a quick little overview because COVID obviously is making it to where all these things are automated. It's just crazy. And that's going to wrap up my point. And next, we're going to go to Cassandra, who is actually going to be the one talking about how COVID has affected jobs so much in these last couple of years. Cassandra, please take it from here.
All right. So like he said, I'm going to be talking about how COVID has impacted job opportunities. So just the other day, my mom was telling me about how she went to a little restaurant. And when she walked in, there was this little robot that came and it walked you to your table. And then once it sat you down at your table, it took your order and then took your order back to the kitchen. And it completely eliminated the host and the waitress out of the situation. And with COVID being more prevalent, things like that have become kind of normal. So like at Walmart, when you go and you see they have those robots that stock the shelves, or they have the floor scrubber rigged up to where it can drive itself. It seems like things have become a little more normalized for technology to be out in the public like that. COVID has impacted jobs in many ways, like sending us home, closing the stores and the factories and stuff down, making us work from home all the way down to making technology to replace us. So technology has erupted and it started taking many jobs that used to be human manned. And COVID has stopped people from wanting to work in public, whether the business has literally been closed down, whether the state has been closed down, or whether people are just refusing to go in public because it's dangerous. People had stayed inside for a long period of time when COVID first started. And when that stuff started happening, they started having to make technology for the things that weren't able to close when it wasn't safe for essential workers to be out. I found a quote that says, with health experts warning that some social distancing measures may need to stay in place until 2021, companies are beginning to expand their usage of robots to reduce the number of staff that have to physically come into work. So while robots and technology and artificial intelligence has always taken the place of like phone operators and like floor scrubbers and stuff like that, COVID has increased the amount of jobs that are available for technology to take place because it's created a whole new field of things that need to be taken over other than things that used to be taken over for like automated phone services and stuff like that. It's taken over a whole new field of jobs because there used to be people there and now there aren't. Like there's a robot named Moxie and it works in a Texas hospital and it can do like the repetitive chores. It can administer medication. It can go back and forth between supply rooms and get the stuff that the doctors and the nurses need so that the doctors and nurses don't have to take the time out of the day to go to the supply room and administer medication and stuff like that. So I found another quote that says the US shed around 40 million jobs at the peak of the pandemic. And while some have come back, some will never return. One group of economists estimates that 42% of jobs that are gone forever. Technology has taken a lot of jobs during COVID, like toll operators and people who take temperatures, disinfecting the floors, replacing like dining hall employees, and making them like security guards in empty properties, and even butlers in hotels where you can go and get like toothpaste and stuff from them. Robots and technology have been threatening employment, especially during COVID, and the rates of unemployment have gone up because of this. I found a quote that says, unemployment has shot up as coronavirus has hit the global economy. What happens when we emerge from the COVID-19 recession to find that jobs have permanently gone with no plan B to keep us gainfully employed? So during COVID, it seems better and easier and safer for technology and artificial intelligence and robots to take our places. Like Anissa said, when it's dangerous for people to be there, but it seems like they have been putting technology into a lot more places than where it's dangerous for people to be. There's technology that goes into fields that aren't things that are dangerous, like factories and lifting heavy things and stuff like that. It's just kind of gone into everyday life, into things that people thought it would be cheaper or easier to not have people there to do. So we need to limit the amount of jobs that are taken by technology so that once the pandemic is over, we still have jobs that we're able to work. I found another quote that said, robots are going to help us return to normal business faster, but they're going to contribute to higher unemployment. So we've seen this play out over the course of the last year. The pandemic happened, people were sent home, people were furloughed, people were literally fired from their jobs, their businesses were closing down. And once they were home, whether they thought they were going to come back or not, the business will replace them with technology, and then they're replaced and are left to find a new field of work, whether they've worked in that field of work for a long period of time or not. They were told to go home from their public jobs, and then once they were gone, they were just replaced. I read about a man named Colin, and he said, I'm too old to think about doing some other job. I just want to go back to what I was doing, because he had a job that he had worked his whole life, and he was sent home because of the pandemic, and the pandemic replaced him. He now has to plan an early retirement because he was forced to find a completely new job field, because he was completely replaced by technology in whatever field it was that he was working. So to summarize, the pandemic has changed lives in a lot of ways, and some things will never go back to normal. Some jobs will never go back to normal. Like I said, they estimate that 42% of jobs that are lost are gone forever. So we just need to be careful that we don't let technology take our jobs permanently, so that once the pandemic is over and people are ready to go back to work, we have jobs that we're able to work.
Well spoken, Christina. You did a really good job there. Now we're going to go to, last but not least, we're going to have Taylor, and she's talking about the effects of tech on the job industry. So Taylor, you're more than welcome to go ahead and take.
All right. Thank you, Justin. Like he just said, I'm going to be speaking on whether artificial intelligence will increase or decrease human employment. So throughout the past 2 decades, technology has advanced at a rapid rate. These advancements have benefited our society in countless ways. For example, the creation of Google's search engine, which went public in 2004 and revolutionized the way people search for information, as well as the creation of flash drives, which allows you to store files, photos, or videos with a storage capacity so large that it would have been unfathomable just a few decades ago. While these are beneficial creations that have come from technological breakthroughs, some areas of technology could actually harm or decrease human employment. As the time progresses, so does technology, which is not in itself a bad thing. However, when artificial intelligence starts to replace human employment is when problems begin to arise. By definition, artificial intelligence is automated software that analyzes data, text, and makes decisions based on those insights. It is characterized by several qualities that separate artificial intelligence from traditional computer software. These are intentionality, intelligence, autonomy, and adaptability. Artificial intelligence is becoming more widespread, and with these developments, there is a greater probability of job loss and redefinition. An example of job loss could be these entry-level positions in the workplace that are routine and can be performed by artificial intelligence. And similar to job loss, individuals could also experience job redefinition as artificial intelligence takes over tasks which are currently performed by humans. Another factor that has decreased employment is the recent challenges COVID-19 has brought into the workplace. As COVID was at its peak, hundreds of thousands of individuals were forcibly unemployed or required to work from home. These circumstances required companies to adjust the way they ran their businesses. The solution for some was incorporating artificial intelligence into these businesses. A growing concern for many is how far the use of artificial intelligence will go and what will the consequences be. Will companies that have introduced artificial intelligence continue to see the need for human employment, or will they begin to rely more heavily on these robots? Sloan Review states, we've seen an acceleration of the use of robots to do the jobs of humans who have been ordered to stay at home or have been redeployed within the workplace. That being said, it is evident that COVID-19 has increased the use of artificial intelligence. A few examples of this has been seen through robots replacing humans as fans in sports and now in human labor, such as in grocery stores and recycling centers. This is just the beginning of the use of artificial intelligence in the workplace, and in the next few decades, we will only continue to see the progression and increased use of artificial intelligence in our daily lives. And an unfortunate cost of this will be the jobs that can be and currently are being performed by these artificial intelligent robots. Thanks.
Thanks so much. I'm going to go ahead there. I mean, everybody had some great points. We had Anissa talking about why we need to get used to technology. We had I myself, who I talked about all the important trucking jobs that are going to be taken and the robots in the factories. And then we had Cassandra, who brought up many great points, talking about how COVID affects jobs and how it might never be the same. And then we had Taylor, who kind of followed up on Cassandra and talked about all the other effects of tech on jobs and how in this ever-changing world, things are always on the go and changing and becoming different. And I think we did a pretty good job, and I appreciate everybody who came out to listen, and thank you very much.